You smell delicious.
Like Irish stew.
Turn over. What a great evening. Irish stew and insults.
I'm sorry about my parents.
Why don't they like me? Everyone likes me.
Well, it's because you're taking advantage of their precious Catholic daughter.
You've been married.
Yeah, they never let me forget the divorce. My mother gave me a book on how to regain my virginity, written by a doctor.
Well, I don't have any fantasies about corrupting virgins. I like experienced women. You relax, your shoulders feel like rocks.
The nurses' union is threatening to go on strike. I couldn't even get in to see the mayor today. And over at your place, I get a double-barreled blast from Westfall, then from Auslander. I don't know how it happened, but suddenly I was defending nuclear war. Now, I know I have to put my personal feelings aside to do my job well. I'm prepared to be the bad guy, but well, I am more objective than they are. What do you think?
I think these are the most beautiful feet I've ever seen.
No, about the Pentagon's plan.
I don't want to think about it. I send a nice fat check to the Physicians for the Prevention of Nuclear War. Let them duke it out with the Joint Chiefs.
You're very committed.
Ha! Funny talks, or so you keep telling me.
I just wonder, am I selling out my own convictions? I mean, I'm against nuclear war, too, but I don't think that's what this plan is about.
If the bomb drops, this is how I want to go.
You really put things in perspective, Bobby.
I didn't bring you to St. Eligia's just to do facelifts in Ski, Vermont on the weekend. The sooner you get your feet wet, the better.
Here I am. Oh, don't get up. You said this would only take a minute.
All right, I wanted you to meet Dr. Caldwell here since he'll be taking my place at the meeting. Dr. Caldwell, Joan Halloran.
Hello.
Robert, hello.
I saw your picture in the hospital news.
They just did that because I'm new here. How'd I look?
Oh, fine.
Dr. Caldwell is our newest plastic surgeon. I personally brought him here from Duke. Miss Halloran is the City Health Services Advisor. She's involved in funding the outpatients clinic, so she knows everything there is to know about plastic surgery.
All I know is we're spending too much money down there. In case you haven't guessed, this meeting is supposed to be a confrontation.
I warned you.
Well, how about it, Miss Halloran? Let's settle it right here. Best 2 out of 3 falls.
I'm afraid you're out of my weight class. Nice to meet you.
That's nice to meet you.
There you go.
Thank you.
Bobby, that line about 2 out of 3 falls, I could better keep a straight face. I think you're going to cut that woman down to size.
Any last-minute advice?
It's going to get nasty. Wear a protective cuff. Repair of congenital abnormality. Much more serious. There is not one aspect of this case that has not been built up.
Hand me the salt.
And although nature may obey her own laws, we have high hopes.
Now, isn't this better than watching Craig get interviewed? You didn't tell me he brought you up here from Duke University personally.
Well, I had to do most of the driving.
Oh. You did a nice job at the meeting. I especially liked that noble offer to go to the health expo, seeing as how I'm dragging you with me anyway.
No one else knew that. I was hoping for a few sympathy votes.
Yeah, believe me. It was the hair transplant line that won you the room. You managed to keep the clinic open 2 days a week and be Craig's fair-haired boy.
Think it was wise to pretend we didn't know each other?
You want to give him the sordid details of the past year? Shuttling back and forth between Boston and North Carolina?
Maybe I'll just let him read my diary.
What diary?
Well, I kind of like to keep a record of everyone I've worked on.
Oh. Listen, since I'm not really in the market for follicle plugs, you see anything that needs correcting?
A couple of toes are pretty crooked.
No way you're giving me a toe job.
come back in 2 days for a wound check and not to wash it until then.
이틀 후에 다시 병원에 오세요. 다쳐서 계속 검사해야 되니까요. 그리고 그때까지 씻지도 마시고 젖은 상태로 그냥 두세요.
Well, I'm glad we called for reinforcements.
Yeah, the alignment's almost perfect.
What do you mean almost?
Do you always use interrupteds?
Yeah, I do. I think if you use continuous sutures, you get yourself in more trouble. Of course, there are plenty of people out there who probably say, what the hell does he know?
I doubt it.
Now you've seen me do one, you can do the next.
I wish. I love plastics. I just don't have the hands for it.
Let me see those. Why, those are great hands for a plastic surgeon.
God.
My best friend from residency used that line to propose to his wife.
I do.
Excuse me, but the mother wants to know your name.
Sure, it's Dr. Caldwell, Caldwell. Unless there's a scar. And then it's viscous. Good work, guys.
Thanks.
Come again.
Great hands. Is that corny or is that corny?
You should be so corny.
It's been a month and a half. No, you tell him to call me directly. Right. See you in 20 minutes. Bye.
No fun being heavy.
Don't start. I'm not in the mood.
You in the mood for lunch?
I can't. I've got too much to do with this press conference and all. Could you put that thing out? It stinks.
Sorry. I thought this was my office.
You know smoking drives me crazy, and you still keep puffing away. It's one of the most filthy...
Stop already, will you? I put the thing out.
Well, you should quit.
I've tried.
Maybe you haven't tried hard enough. See you tonight?
Yeah. I'll make dinner.
Good. Yeah, well, your mustache smells and you taste terrible, too.
The breast clinic.
Well, I like the preventive clinic, and the group sessions are fine, but one-to-one is rough. I have a patient on my floor, Louise Garrison. She's due for a mastectomy tomorrow. Young girl. I'm worried about her. I tried telling her about reconstruction, but...
Want me to have a talk with her?
Yeah, maybe in a few days. What do you normally say to your patients?
That I think it can be wonderful.
Never a dissatisfied customer.
Sure, that happens. But the majority of women who undergo the procedure have their lives changed for the better.
Yeah.
The techniques that have been developed are amazing. It's not just a mound of silicone. We can rebuild a whole new breast with a nipple. It looks and feels just like a natural breast.
Maybe to you. Well, couldn't be worse than my prosthesis. Feels like a bra full of wet sand.
Maybe you ought to consider an implant for yourself.
My husband's all for it, if that's what I want.
What do you want?
I don't know. But I'll think about it. I better be going or I'll be late for the clinic. Thanks.
That's great.
Got a minute? I gotta talk to you.
Yeah, sure, but I'm parked in a no-smoking zone. Can you walk and talk at the same time?
Yeah, sure. You keep a pretty close eye on the stock market, don't you? I mean, I always see you reading the business section of the newspaper, right?
Well, I'm really a millionaire, Fiscus. I just do this for a hobby.
No, seriously. You see, I'm thinking of trading my silver future for an option.
What are you talking about?
Luther Hawkins and I got in on a 5,000-ounce silver contract.
You're crazy.
We got it all figured out. It's a one-day trade. We can't miss.
Listen, take a little piece of friendly advice. Don't do what you don't know. Go call your broker and get out.
Bobby, clearly you don't understand.
No, clearly I do understand. Listen, a few years back, I made this trade. Forget it. Look, it's none of my business, okay?
Well, wait a minute. Finish the story.
No, I shouldn't have said anything. You know what you're doing.
Well, I mean, we're colleagues, sort of, and I want to hear what you have to say.
All right. A few years ago, I did this commodities deal. You know, I had it all worked out. Figured I'd make a bundle, you know, move down to San Diego, open up a small private practice. Figured I couldn't lose. I got killed by a margarine culp and lost 20 grand.
Yeah, but